Sean Diddy Combs, a name synonymous with music, fashion, and decades of cultural influence. But the empire built on sound and style now faces an existential threat within the walls of a New York federal courtroom. The scene outside on day one was a frenzy, a testament to the magnitude of the case. Media and public clamoring for access, lines stretching endlessly. Inside, the air crackled with anticipation as a trial began, promising to unravel years of secrets potentially hidden behind Diddy's carefully curated public image. A jury of 12, 8 men and 4 women, noted as racially diverse, along with 6 alternates, now holds the fate of the mogul in their hands. What truly lies beneath the surface of this global icon, and are the shocking allegations unveiled in court the devastating truth? The trial's intensity was palpable from the outset. Diddy, present in court wearing his now familiar uniform of a sweater over a collared shirt, appeared visibly different, his gray hair showing, a stark contrast to his typically dyed look. His family, including his mother Janice and many of his children, provided a constant presence of support. Perhaps the most talked about visual was Diddy seated at the defense table, Bible in hand, reportedly reading scripture during proceedings. This move sparked immediate commentary. Was it a genuine turn to faith during a crisis? Or, as some analysts suggested, a transparently cynical attempt to appear like a little choir boy, aiming to soften an image soon to be battered by testimony detailing allegedly deviant behavior? Unlike letting his gray hair show, which might humanize him, the Bible reading struck some as a bridge too far, especially since Diddy isn't expected to testify himself, leaving the gesture open to interpretation as pure courtroom optics. The prosecution, led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson, launched their case with a powerful opening statement designed not as an argument but as a factual roadmap for the jury. To the public, he was Puff Daddy, or Diddy, a cultural icon, a businessman larger than life, Johnson began, before delivering the pivot. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise. She emphasized Diddy's alleged self-perception. He called himself the king and expected to be treated like one. He expected his inner circle to cater to his every desire, including his sexual desire, and his inner circle made sure he got everything he wanted. This framing aimed to puncture the celebrity bubble immediately, portraying Diddy not just as a flawed individual, but as the alleged mastermind of the racketeering enterprise central to the charges. The prosecution detailed the federal counts: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and illegal transportation, crimes allegedly spanning 2 decades. Johnson then delved into the disturbing specifics, painting Diddy as an unforgiving monster. Central to their case is Cassandra Cassie Ventura. Johnson confirmed Cassie would testify about enduring years of abuse, including the horrifying allegation of being forced to have a male escort urinate in her mouth and being compelled into sex acts with men while Diddy watched and filmed. Crucially, the prosecution highlighted the alleged turning point. When Cassie finally said she'd had enough and didn't want to participate anymore, Diddy allegedly beat her brutally. The violence captured in the infamous hotel video. Even after this savage beating, Johnson alleged, Diddy demanded Cassie cover her bruises, including a black eye, take ecstasy, and perform in another freak-off immediately, his appetite allegedly unsated by the assault. They also flagged testimony expected from Nia, a former employee who will allegedly describe Diddy forcing himself on her sexually, even sneaking into her bed, presented not as a rape charge in this trial, but as evidence of his alleged predatory character, a man capable of anything. The prosecution didn't wait long to call their first witness, directly tying into the hotel video narrative. Israel Flores, a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, took the stand. He described being called to Diddy's room due to a commotion, finding Diddy clad only in the robe seen in the video. Cassie cowering, with her hoodie pulled down but bruises still visible on her face, and a shattered vase on the floor. Flores testified he acted in his capacity as hotel security, telling Diddy the behavior was unacceptable in the hotel, holding him responsible for the broken vase, and urging them back into the room, rather than intervening as law enforcement might to ensure Cassie's safety. This interaction, commentators noted, highlighted the deferential treatment often afforded to celebrities. The most damning part of Flores's testimony concerned what happened next. He stated Diddy offered him a handful of cash, explicitly saying he wanted no one to learn of what went on here. While the defense cross-examined, suggesting the cash might have been payment for the vase, the prosecution's redirect solidified Flores's account of the statement, framing the cash offer as attempted hush money, a bribe. Though bribing a hotel security guard isn't inherently illegal, the prosecution used it to paint a picture of Diddy actively covering his tracks, using money to control situations, actions consistent with running a criminal enterprise. Flores added another layer, testifying that when he returned to work days later, the hotel's surveillance footage of the incident was mysteriously gone. He had, however, recorded parts of it on his personal iPhone. He also addressed the sometimes jerky or sped-up appearance of the leaked CNN footage, explaining the hotel cameras were motion-sensitive, which could account for the recording style, suggesting it wasn't necessarily maliciously edited. Diddy's lead defense attorney, Tenny Geragos, daughter of famed celebrity lawyer Mark Geragos, delivered a forceful opening statement aimed squarely at countering the prosecution's narrative. "This is about voluntary choices that adults make in consensual relationships," she asserted, framing the case around private lives and adult decisions. Acknowledging Diddy's weird or strange proclivities, even referencing his much-discussed love for baby oil, she posed the rhetorical question, "Is that a federal crime?" Her answer, no. Geragos confronted the Cassie Hotel video head-on, calling Diddy's actions indefensible, horrible, dehumanizing, and violent. However, she skillfully argued that while it might be evidence of domestic violence, a state matter, it was not evidence of federal sex trafficking, the crime Diddy is actually charged with. She insisted the alleged victims weren't forced, were willing participants in Diddy's lifestyle, and could have left at any time. Geragos also aggressively attacked the credibility of the accusers, planting the seed that their motives were financial. For many of them, the answer is simple: money, she declared, aiming to frame the testimony as part of a shakedown targeting a nine-figure fortune, implicitly including Cassie despite her settled civil suit. Analysts noted the effectiveness of this strategy, alongside her argument against government intrusion into private affairs, the bedroom door defense, likely resonating with some jurors. The unique situation with Cassie Ventura adds another layer of complexity. Having already settled her civil lawsuit for an undisclosed amount, commentators debated the impact on her credibility. Does the settlement make her testimony less reliable, tainted by a financial motive? Or, as some argued, does it make her more believable, as she seemingly has nothing further to gain financially by enduring the trauma of testifying, suggesting her motive now is purely about seeking justice and accountability? Her testimony, when it comes, is expected to be pivotal, and cross-examining her effectively, given the video evidence and potential jury sympathy, presents a significant challenge for the defense. The opening day set a dramatic and deeply disturbing stage. The prosecution came out swinging, winning the day according to analysts, painting Diddy as a monstrous figure running a criminal empire, backed by shocking allegations and the promise of damning evidence. The defense, while acknowledging indefensible behavior, is fighting strategically, attempting to reframe the narrative around consent, financial motives, and the specific legal boundaries of the federal charges. They are, for now, in survival mode as the prosecution presents its case. As the trial unfolds, the jury must navigate these starkly conflicting narratives. The world watches as the carefully constructed image of Sean Diddy Combs faces its ultimate test, with the verdict potentially dismantling a legacy and delivering profound consequences, regardless of the outcome, for a man whose career, many believe, is already irrevocably damaged.